Hello, everybody. Today I'm coming to you from the central area in the town where I live. It's really nice. It's a really nice gathering spot for people to just get a drink, chat, and enjoy the ambiance. And especially as the weather's getting nicer, people are flocking to this here spot. But today I want to talk about the wonders that can occur when you isolate yourself and pop out someone completely new. The first step when you're going through this major transformation is to cut out slash distance yourself from energy drainers. Yes, because energy drainers, they are in fact not a thing of myth, they are real. And I firsthand have been around people who drain your energy when you hang out with them. I rebuke that energy. And when you are cutting out these toxic energy drainers, I want you to really focus on the relationships that matter to you and the relationships that make you feel good and uplift you. So, this could be maybe a family member who you just really enjoy being around, or a friend who every time you see them, you smile and you have a great, grand old time. Like, focus on those relationships because they make you feel good and they're actually like beneficial to you. And obviously, like, it can get a little bit tricky when the negative relationships are family members or really, really close friends. Like, it can get a little bit messy up in there. But I think the key is to just maintain a safe distance from these people. Do what is best for you, really. I think when I started seeing the value in my own happiness, it changed a lot for me. And I don't know, I think I still am kind of a people pleaser to an extent, unfortunately, but I'm trying to get past that and I'm trying to put myself first and prioritize my own happiness. And it makes such a difference in how you are going to develop um, in all aspects. Like, it makes you feel so much better. And I don't think it's selfish at all to put yourself first and prioritize your happiness. Next, I think it's so important to establish daily routines that elevate you. You know, there are routines that can drag you down and just make you feel so grimy and so sad and depressed. But I think establishing daily routines that actually benefit you, and when you do them every day, like, you become a better person mentally and physically. I think that is so important and beneficial. For me, this looks like doing daily skincare morning and night, sunscreen every day, of course. And I take great pleasure in making myself meals and kind of doing that whole routine of cooking the meal. I know it can be time consuming, but for me, it doesn't really matter because it's a good, enjoyable process. I love nourishing my body and my mind, and taking time to do those things is really a passion of mine, and I wish I had all the time in the world to not worry about anything else. And that is my ultimate end goal for world domination, is to just have so much time and energy to do self-care and elevate myself in all the ways because, yeah, I want to become my final form, obviously. That's like really the only thing I'm interested in. Just kidding. But when you're doing these daily routines that elevate you, I think it comes naturally to fall in love with loving yourself. Okay? Are you getting this? Falling in love with loving yourself. I think this is one of the most central things that has become my reality in the past 6 months or so. Is I have so much love for myself and so much respect for myself that it seems almost natural, and it seems like expected of me that I'm going to do these routines because it's what I do and it's how I treat myself. And I know this is not the reality for everybody. It's kind of a privilege to care for yourself and love yourself. But I think just regardless of the circumstance, like, believe me, I have been through some nitty and some gritty in the past 4 months, 4 or 5 months or so. It has been a roller coaster. But regardless of the circumstance, I remain grateful and I have that sense of gratitude and love for myself. I think it's also a really good way to get through a hard situation is to focus on loving yourself and elevating yourself and your mindset and remaining positive. Easier said than done, obviously, but it really is so much more bearable to go through hard times when you are kind of trying to help yourself get through it and working on bettering yourself through the process rather than just taking so much damage and like feeling everything so deeply that it stops you from making progress. Obviously, that might be insensitive, but I think it's just good to keep it pushing throughout trials and tribulations because it gets hard, but you just have to remain steadfast in the face of that struggle. Circling back to the point of falling in love with loving yourself, some ways that I am doing this daily is through self care. This obviously can be skincare. I think other forms of self care also include reading or educating yourself, taking in forms of media that are beneficial and positive that contribute to your personal success, I think is a form of self care. Regulating what you're listening to and what you're telling yourself, because what your brain believes is really how you act. So just feeding your brain really good stuff is important. Focusing on whole foods is a way that I fall in love with loving myself, I guess. Those 2 points are not super connected. For the past year or so, I've been eating like the 80-20 diet, like 80% whole, 20% processed, just kind of fun foods. But I think I have seen such a huge difference in my mental health, but also my physical health. There's so many benefits from just eating whole foods and foods that are good for you. Obviously, a continuous journey, learning which foods are best for you and can guarantee you longevity and the most health benefits. But that's kind of what I like about it. Like, it's a learning journey. I also love to cook, and that's something that I've been kind of just doing a lot more frequently in the past year or 6 months or so. Like, I've always kind of been a little cooker. Next, establishing boundaries. I kind of talked about this at the beginning of this video, but establishing boundaries, literally, it changes so much. It makes you feel so much lighter. Like, I feel, oh, the dog is going crazy. Establishing boundaries with people who are devilish, devious, evil. That is literally, like, it makes such a difference in everything. It makes a difference in everything. When I started establishing boundaries and distancing myself from people who were not doing me any good and were actually the devil, the devious little enemy, I just felt like when I was around these people, I was constantly kind of strained mentally, and it put some stress on just interacting with these people. And obviously, any stress in your life, chop it out. It's not good. Easier said than done. But unnecessary stresses, chop them out. Because, like, why would you stress yourself out and why would you associate with people who are not good for you when you don't have to? When you don't have to endure these stresses. Also, I want to highlight how important it is to isolate, not to withdraw and hide, but to improve and prosper without damaging influences from the outside, from the beyond. Isolation doesn't necessarily mean staying indoors for 6 months straight, because I think that can drive you crazy. But I think it is just more so focusing on yourself and your progress than being concerned about other factors or other people's whatever. Like, just focusing on yourself and locking in on your personal progress and your personal success is really what I mean by isolation. It's also a lifelong journey to be your best self. So while you can definitely see some results from locking yourself away and hyper focusing on self improvement, it's going to be a continual process throughout your whole life. We can't expect ourselves to always be 100% healthy or 100% dedicated to our goals. I just took a peek back at the footage that I just took, and oh my gosh, my skin was glowing up a storm. Who allowed me to shine this bright? I did. I did. I allowed myself to shine this bright because I focused on myself and my self improvement, and I cut off those external forces that were dragging me down. And I would recommend you to do the same. Elevate yourself, work on yourself, but most of all, don't be too hard on yourself. Treat yourself with grace, kindness, love, and respect, like you would treat a friend or a lover, because at the end of the day, you should be both, I guess.